Good morning, bonjour, buongiorno, followers across the globe. Welcome to my nuclear teaching of Tuesday, February 21, 2023. As always, independent, knowledgeable, inspirational, and without compromise. Because nuclear is the best we have. We know this in 60 years. Atoms for peace. It's not an opinion, it is science. Yes. So, last week I started to talk about the sort of springs of hope, the light in the old world. The new world builds nuclear power plants, the old world with dysfunctional Green Deals closes nuclear power plants. Nevertheless, there is a bit of light in the old world, and last week I spoke about France and I spoke about Japan, and today I will talk a little bit about what's happening in Finland. Not only the Finns put into operation their novel nuclear power plant, the European pressurized reactor, the EPR, really a big guy. It started, I would say, in October, November last year, and it will reach soon in the next weeks. Maybe it already has 1600 megawatt, providing, yes, 15% of the Finnish electricity need. 15%, that's big beer, that's a lot, that's good news, that is a lot of clean electricity, that's great. And the even better news is that as from next year, they will start to store, the Finns, yes, they will start to store their spent fuel, their waste, yes, their nuclear waste, into a very stable geological repository, and they will store it more sustainably, more safely than any other type of waste, which is 1,000 times larger in volume. So what precisely is that? Let's have a look at Onkalo. This is the Onkalo site. I've provided a link above right here to the Onkalo site, where you can read everything about how this was managed, how this was supported by the Finnish citizens living nearby, etc., about the safety case. Basically, right here, the nuclear canisters containing the spent fuel will be stored in this underground geological pattern, I would say, where they have the chance to further cool down. Most of the heat is already gone, most of the radiation is already gone, and what is actually sitting there is essentially chemical waste. It is in containers stored, it is further surrounded by impenetrable clay, and further by 500 meters of impenetrable, geologically stable rock. So it sits there forever, it sits there safely and sustainably, and it is not a lot. I would say that almost the whole spent fuel of the EU generated in 1 century would actually fit in that repository. Unfortunately, because the vision on energy in general and nuclear energy in particular in the EU, in Brussels, has completely gone. We have green ideology. We could have actually chosen to store all our waste there. That's not the case. Every country has to do its own thing. But it's not a lot, as you can see. Every human, when powered by nuclear energy, heat, electricity, transport, etc., all our waste would fit in this canister. So, good news, as from next year, the Finnish nuclear spent fuel, where there is still a lot of value in it actually, will be stored in Onkalo, near the Olkiluoto 3 site, where this new power plant, the EPR, is in full operation. So that's good news. And actually, the nuclear waste problem doesn't need to be solved anymore, because there really is no problem at all. So let's have finally a more closer look at that, because basically, what's the story? What's the real story? What's the science behind nuclear waste or spent fuel? Well, it's very simple. In the first 200 or 300 years, this spent fuel basically emits gamma radiation, and if you store it in lead containers or thick steel containers or any other type of engineered shielding, humans will not notice anything about this radiation. That's one thing. And after 300 years, when that radiation is gone, what essentially is left is chemical waste, which emits alpha radiation. But alpha radiation is only dangerous when you actually ingest it in large enough quantities. And storage in deep geologically stable repositories ensures basically that this will never, ever happen. And by the way, most radiation, it's harmless, and it's not actually the radioactivity that counts, but it's the radiotoxicity that counts. You know, how dangerous is it? And in what way are we exposed to it actually? So that's basic radiology and health physics. There is no waste problem, so the problem doesn't need to be solved. It's simple as that. I will continue to teach about this because the so-called waste problem is basically the number one anti-nuclear meme. So it needs to be basically treated like that. And I will continue to teach about this. So that was it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. The message is very simple. Nuclear waste is not a problem, doesn't need to be solved. Actually, the Finns have shown that it actually can be solved. No problem at all. Save the planet, great idea. Build nuclear power plants, the more, the faster, the better. And with this great message, this spark of light in the old world, I wish you a great day. Buongiorno, alla prossima!